in the fam. All in the fam. Come on. It's all in the fam. All in the fam. Come on. Now get your hands up. 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 It's all in the fam.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Fam Fridays. I am Brianna Cherie, the host of All in the Fam, the certified fresh, all-inclusive, unfiltered podcast. Now, season 2 just aired on Wednesday, so you can catch up on that episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as YouTube. The link to all those accounts is in the bio. So make sure after this episode, you go to our bio and you subscribe and follow on whichever platform of podcast that you listen on. When you do subscribe to YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and comment. We want to hear feedback. We want to know what you guys think about the episodes and your different opinions and stuff like that. So we appreciate that. So it is episode 5 of Fam Fridays. We have a special topic and guest. I'm super excited to introduce him. But first, I want to say something briefly about tomorrow. So tomorrow is Independence Day, 4th of July. I understand that it's tense times right now in America. Hell, it's always tense times in America. Now, if you don't want to celebrate 4th of July tomorrow, I hear you. I understand you. I'm with you. Okay? If you do want to celebrate 4th of July tomorrow, I hear you, I understand you, I'm with you. I get both aspects of why people want to celebrate and people don't want to celebrate. Okay, Independence Day historically is not a day for people who look like me. Now, it's centuries past and we can reflect on that history and now we can finally celebrate it for all people. But given the context of this past year, maybe it's time that some of us who don't feel like America is at the right state right now, maybe we can use tomorrow as reflection. Tomorrow I'm using 4th of July as a self-care day. One, because I'm just freaking tired from this week from work and everything and I'm just drained. And I'm also drained of America right now. I am thankful, don't twist my words, I'm thankful to be an American, I'm thankful to live in this country, but I'm not happy and proud with it right now. So I'm going to use tomorrow as a day of reflection of the good and of the bad. Now, it's been a hell of a quarantine and people have different experiences and people have had some rough couple of months. So if you want to use tomorrow as a day to unwind and relax and do what you got to do to celebrate, and if you think America is what you like America to be, then that's fine. You do that. Now, if you hate living in this country, what are some things that you're going to do to make this a country that you're eventually going to be proud of? If you actually love this country, what are some things that you're going to do to make sure that the people who don't necessarily love this country eventually will love this country? Our generation is change agents. We are already making change so much with all the movements going on right now. Why should we stop? Okay. I'm not going to tell you what to do. There's many resources and ideas out there for things that you guys can do to make this country better. I think there's a lot of work that we need to do, and our generation is the answer. So, again, whether you want to celebrate tomorrow or not, that is up to you. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I just hope everybody has a safe and just a good Saturday. Other than that, on a lighter note, this episode, we titled it The Music and the Movement. So I am having a special guest, CoreRex, on the show tonight. He is a DJ and producer, and he's also using his platform to uplift the voices in Chicago for the Black Lives Matter movement and for the queer community as well. He has shared and posted a lot of things to uplift their voices and posted a lot of resources within the Chicago community and just bringing light to the situation that a lot of people in Chicago are doing good for in many ways. So I think it's awesome that many young people in our generation are utilizing art platforms to uplift the voices of others. So without further ado, I'm going to add CoreRex to the chat. Bear with me one second. What's up?
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, my guy?
What's up? What's happening?
Nothing much. I hate how it gets so close when I ask somebody. I kind of like have to
Yeah.
like step back a little bit.
Yeah. I had to do that too. I'm like, whoop, this is way too close. All right, I'm chill.
Awesome. All right, Rex. Quickly, briefly, give us 2 fun facts about yourself. Yep, I put
Uh,
you on the spot.
yeah, dang. Two fun facts. I don't know if this is considered fun, but I like it. I know how to solve a Rubik's Cube. I guess that's fun. And I don't know. I can do this with my thumb.
What the
Pretty.
hell?
I don't know. Those are not fun things. Those are weird things, though.
It's all
I
right.
can
I
do some
put you
weird
on the
things.
spot.
Yeah. That's funny.
All right. So this episode we titled it "The Music and the Movement." So let's first get into the music aspect. So you're a DJ, producer. I've been to play. I've heard you spin. First of all, I love your DJing. Oh my God, I swear to goodness.
Hey,
And your mixes, your flips, love it. So those of
thank you.
you who don't know CoreRex, go follow this man. He has unbelievable talent. Okay, so I just gave you a little plug right there. Awesome.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
So, how did you initially get into music? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, sure. Music. I've been producing for longer than I've been DJing. So, um, with producing, I guess I kind of grew up on a lot of different kind of like R&B kinds of influences, and when it came to, I don't know, I think growing up, I didn't really feel like I had a medium to be able to express myself properly, and I kind of was always looking for that, and I think somehow, some way, I just came up with the idea of trying producing, seeing if it worked, and I just kind of went with it. I kind of stuck with it. I've always had this love for music, so I figured maybe I could try painting my own pictures with, audio, and it kind of just developed into what it is today.
Mhm. Awesome, great. Is
Hmm.
there any producers that you looked up to that were a huge influence on you, and that in a way that reflects the music that you're producing in a way?
Yeah, definitely. I would probably say Flying Lotus is definitely up there. More recently, I'd probably say Monty Booker
Okay.
for sure. I mean, there's so many that are just kind of coming to my head. I think those two kind of reflect my early inspirations and like my current inspirations for making music. Those two are at the top for producing for sure.
Great. Now, your Sunday brunches at play, they're on pause. So I'm not sure if you're going back to play, but what have you been doing during quarantine to help you, still have that creative flow, keep your juices flowing and stuff like that?
Just practice,
Yeah.
just practice. I think a lot of us, I mean, for most of us, right? Like quarantine is kind of kicked everybody in the face, I think.
Mhm.
So like, it's kind of like, all right, you have a lot of this time to be, if you're blessed enough to be, isolated in your house and you can dedicate that time to do something. But I think there shouldn't be a pressure to do that either. But I just chose to use my time to, kind of hone my craft a bit more, discover new things on producing and DJing.
Mhm.
I'm actually not going to be DJing to play anymore. I can get into that a bit more, but I think it definitely, plays a part of, because of what's going on in today's current climate. Silence speaks a lot, it speaks louder more than, so like if you're silent on some issues that are, pressing to people that look like me, and this is not even just to play, it's just for any club,
Right.
like a lot of these clubs profit off the black dollar.
Yup.
You know what I mean? So like, why would I, consciously work for a space that is, willing to take advantage of that? Like, that's just so fucked up. Excuse my French, but like, Jesus, like,
This is
it's
unfiltered.
all right, cool. Yeah, it's just crazy. Like it's just like
Yeah.
it's unfathomable. So like, especially in 2020, like.
Mhm.
So that's all I'm gonna say on that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to, practicing and then, transferring my abilities and my talents to, black owned areas and, black crowds.
That's all my focus is.
Got you. Are
Hmm.
they like any pros and cons to producing that you want to share for like those who want to like get into producing?
Yeah, definitely. I think the biggest pro would be just the ability to be able to help somebody articulate, their ideas. I think the word producer gets misconstrued a lot, and my understanding of producer is not just somebody who makes beats.
Mm-hmm.
It's more than that. It's about being able to arrange a song from back to front to back, from start to finish, and being able to help whatever artist you're working with, whether that be a vocal or act or, somebody playing an instrument, being able to say like, hey, this would sound good here. Maybe you should try this there, but not impeding, but just working together. So I take a lot of pride in that. That's what I love most about being a producer in the traditional aspect. And that's the pro. Did you say you said pro and the con, right? Or
Yes.
just pros? Yeah. I think con is just I mean, this is with anything. I think the work, like it's a lot. I took it for granted getting into it. It's a lot of work, and just to not only get into this, but like to maintain a certain level of professionalism and sound that you want to actually go for in your head. You feel like even like with DJing or producing, like I feel like you can get to a certain level, and then like if you stay stagnant, you're just gonna slowly get worse because while your skills aren't moving, everybody else around you is moving up, and that's with anything. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, it's just one of those things you just gotta constantly work at it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, those are like the pros and cons, I think,
Really good. So let's segue into like the movement aspects of the episode. So,
for sure.
I follow you on Instagram, Twitter, all that. You literally have been doing such a great job in bringing light to many situations regarding the Black Lives Matter movement. Uplifting the voices in the queer community, uplifting the voices of people in Chicago, actually on the front lines doing the groundwork and protesting, and all these community initiatives. So, what led you to not be silent and use your platform? I know it's a simple question, but some people don't want to use their platform. But people like you and I, we decided to like, let's do good and bring light to situations. So what made you have that switch and like, let me put aside promoting, my music and stuff like that. Let me uplift other people. So what made you decide that?
Yeah. I would love to hear your thoughts on this too because I think for me it was just like I have to do this. It wasn't like a necessarily like a thought process that went with it. I think there was the energy in the air, there was the energy on social media, energy on the internet where everybody was kind of unified, and we still are unified, but in the initial shockwave that kind of occurred, I had nothing. There were so many moving parts that were going on, and I guess some instincts kicked in where I was just like, I have to, you know, make sure that I'm good. You know, I'm good, right? All right, cool. Let me move on to like my immediate household. Let me move on to my community. And I'm like, we gotta get stuck at our community, right? So I'm like, all right, how can I help my community? Let me share these resources to people. Like when these riots were going on and not riots, but people, looting, it was happening. You know what I mean? So like consequently, CPS, cut lunches for students. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. So it's like, okay, there are kids that I know people directly that have kids in CPS. You know what I mean? So like, and I also see like some information about this. So like instinctually, I'm like gonna post this more and more, make sure people can see the information about free food for the children. You know what I mean? Like, I think at that point, a lot of people saw that, and I think I don't know. I want to respect the people who stay silent too, but I think when it really comes down to it, it's like, man, like it's just so big. It's so much bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
You know. So like, I think that was the main reason why I just felt so inclined to like push these resources out and still do that, because I think things are dying down in
Mm-hmm.
certain, like in terms of like being on the street. People are still protesting crazy, but
Right.
people aren't. I think the rate at which people are getting locked up has gone down a bit. So like I think people are equating that to like, okay, the movement's dying. No, the movement's not dying. It's just we're transferring energy. I think a lot of
Mhm.
people are transferring their energy into, educating people.
Yep.
And, I think that's the wave now. And we just got to keep at it. And we have to keep, translating what this movement is going to mean. Because, like, what is this going to be in 3 months from now? Like, who knows what
Mhm.
that's going to look like? So,
Yeah.
like, so how was that for you? How was that for you? Like that transition?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
So like the past 24 years, I've recognized everything going on in America in terms of many different situations and aspects. Personally, me being black, I've lived through Ferguson and Baltimore, those headlines. I was silent. Then again, I wasn't as mature as I am now when it comes to those things. Now
Mm-hmm.
that I am, and now that I developed my own opinions, which shouldn't even really be opinion, the freaking Black lives. I'm a black person. It should be just that simple.
Right.
Um, I'm more vocal on social media at this point in my life. So I'm just going to, same as you, if I know somebody who can help, then I'm going to share it. I'm using my media as one, call out, things that need to be called out,
Mm-hmm.
spread positivity, because there are some things going on right now that should be shared in positive light, and also, resources for myself and resources for, other people on things that they can do to educate themselves. One, two, give. Three, initiatives that they can take part in.
Yep.
So the switch for me was finally recognizing that, okay, I can grasp what, I can grasp my maturity, and I know what I'm going to say. And I also had to, like what you said, I had to check myself first, because that very first week of protest, I was drained, I was angry, I was tired, and I
Yeah.
had to like take a day off of work. I'm just like, you know what? This is a lot. And maybe I don't know anyone personally who's been, taken from the police or anything like that. Maybe I haven't had the most outrageous, outlandish, racist, acts against me. But
Mm-hmm.
when that shit happens to my people, it hurts me too.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was a black person in the suburbs, in the city, if they had a degree, they didn't have a degree. Like, if you're black and you're American, even if you're black anywhere, like, your family to me.
Yeah.
So that's just what had that switch for me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Same.
that's pretty much that. So all this is happening in June. So we have Juneteenth, we have the protests, we have Pride Month,
Yep.
and there was a bit of a shift with the Black Lives Matter movement, because we were going from Black Lives Matter to all Black Lives Matter, because there were situations where, brought to light that, queer black people were being murdered unjustly, by citizens and by police brutality and all that. And what resonated with me, I saw you posting a lot of things about, black trans lives, and that hit me. I was like, man, like, he has a point. Black trans lives go unnoticed at times, even within the queer community. They go unnoticed. And even the fact that in DC they changed the name on that street leading up to the White House from Black Lives Matter to All Black Lives Matter,
Hmm.
we literally forget that there's a multitude of people that are black in this country, and we need to recognize the queer community. So what led you to speak up for them too?
Yeah. Um. Great. That's a great point. And like, I feel like I'll within our community. I think I'll start there. Like, we have a lot of internalized homophobia. We have a lot of internalized transphobia, and this isn't new.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of pointing the finger and saying why this is happening, we just need to address it.
True.
Period. Point blank. So like whatever we can do to bring those situations to light is more than enough, because I feel like, yeah, even like it's all this culture shift. It's all these movements that are happening at once. It's not like turn after turn. Like these are things that we need to address. Like it didn't come out of nowhere.
Right.
Like Black trans lives have always mattered, but like,
Mhm.
is everybody on that same page? No.
Mhm.
So it's about spreading that word and making sure people understand that, yes, like when I'm talking about Black lives, I'm talking about
Every single one.
yes, I'm talking about every single life. And I'm not discriminating within my own culture, because
Mhm.
that's another thing that we need to like overcome. Like we just have to stop dividing ourselves within ourselves. Like
Mhm.
that's not doing anything. Like we like kind of going back to what we were saying about fighting that battle at home. We need to fight that internalized, like not like me and you, obviously, but
Right.
in general, like as a community, we need to fight that at home where you need to have these conversations with yourself and others, saying,
Mhm.
"Am I actually being homophobic? Am I being transphobic? Am I
Right.
acting in a certain way that's going to marginalize my community even further?" You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
so yeah, that's why that's important. We have to keep fighting that battle, because they go so hard for us. So like the least we can do is go hard for them and make sure that everybody's voice is heard.
Exactly. I saw a tweet the other day. I don't know it word for word, but basically it was bringing light to the situation, saying, "How are you going to be black and say Black Lives Matter? Yeah, you're homophobic, and you always have hate for light skin, dark skin, or you're sexist towards black women." It's like clearly Black lives don't matter if you don't care about black women, queer black people, okay? And then if you're light skinned, dark skinned, and brown, like honestly, like that shit, that's just a whole nother conversation, the whole light skin, dark skin thing. Like, can we please cancel
Yeah,
that? We cancel everything out
yeah.
here besides white light skin versus dark skin. Like, can we, bruh? We all black.
It's
We all black.
crazy. It's really crazy too, because especially the light skin versus dark skin thing,
Mhm.
because colorism is a thing.
Yeah.
And while I'm negatively impacted by racism, I benefit from colorism because I'm light skinned. You
Hmm.
know, like, and I think we need to shift that narrative from like light skin versus black, all that weird thing, and then kind of turn it into like, how can I you know come to terms with my color, that the fact that I do in a way benefit from colorism, and
Hmm.
then not only that, but also utilize that privilege to help black people as a whole. I think
Right.
that's what that conversation needs to turn into.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's definitely something to address the colorism, but we definitely need to cancel thinking that we're better because we're dark skinned or we're better because we're light skinned and all that. That
Yeah,
definitely needs to play. You know.
facts, without a doubt. Yeah.
Awesome. So there's some songs that came out. There's this song called "Bigger Picture" by Little Baby and "Rockstar"
Mhm.
by The Baby. Have you heard both of those songs?
Yeah, yeah, I
Okay.
have. They're
Awesome.
cool.
And then also, the classic "All Right" by Kendrick Lamar. So
Love that song.
I feel like with these movements, there's always somebody that's going to be making a song and stuff like that. Um, do these particular songs fit how you feel with the movement, or do you have any songs just because you're in music? Do you have any songs in mind that speak to what's going on in America and how you feel?
Yeah. I've always been kind of weird with this because I think I'll start with saying like I spend I think, as we all do, a lot of time on social media,
Mm-hmm.
and because of that, I think everybody reacts differently when they're off of their time of social media, because it's kind of like a job now. Like it really is. It feels like it a lot of times that in the way where it brings stress. So like when I'm off of social media, I'm really trying to unwind and
Mm-hmm.
reflect on what's going on in my community. I kind of look for more. I look for sonics as opposed to lyrics. I know that might be weird, but I listen to like a lot of Hiatus Coyote, which is like this Australian band that I really love. I listen to a lot of R&B too. I really I try to be very not selective, but just like um, mood music, but also in a way where it's just high energy,
Right.
because I think it's important to kind of keep that balance. Like I get a lot off of just like vibes in general. So Hiatus Coyote, their whole discography is very radical sonically. And it's not really, they speak on a lot of different subjects, but I think they're like the forefront of what I'm listening to a lot right now. Probably say like Smokey Robinson too. a lot of old school stuff. Yeah, yeah,
Throwback. That's like my
yeah, for
grandpa's
sure.
generation.
Yeah, right. No, but it's crazy because I like, you know, I feel like we all come across music at different times in our lives, and as of late, I really took the time to kind of dissect his discography, and that's it's been giving me a lot of just motivation, and I think that's what we need, as opposed to, I'm not trying to listen to all right on loop 10 times a
Right.
day, just be like, ugh,
Right.
just be mad in the crib. Like, that's good for hype. That's good for hype. But like, I think that balance is good too. Cause at the end of the day, like, Black Lives Matter. And right, obviously. So like with that means that our mental matters.
Yep.
And I think that, taking care of our mental, for me at least, and I think for a lot of folks, is listen to good music, and wherever that good music comes from is whatever you get the inspiration from. So yeah, sorry I was long winded, but yeah.
Awesome. Well, CoreRex, we do have to wrap it up. So I appreciate you for taking time out of your day to having this awesome discussion. I think this was one of my favorites by far. So thank
Stop
you.
it.
Everybody go follow CoreRex. Please, please, please. This man has talent. But
Stop.
yeah, thank you so much, fam.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
All right. See ya.
All right, peace.
All right, guys. So, those of you who are just tuning in, I just had an awesome conversation with producer CoreRex. And we discussed his start in music as a producer and DJing on the side, and also um, how he's using his platform to uplift particular movements going on right now, such as the Black Lives Matter movement, and uplifting the voices of the queer community, and also shedding light of all the good things that activists in Chicago are doing and what he's doing himself as well. So this episode will be uploaded to YouTube, as well as all the other Fam Friday episodes. Also, to reiterate, season 2 of the podcast All in the Fam aired on Wednesday. Episodes will air every other Wednesday. We also will be producing content and videos between those weeks. So there is a link in the bio. Go click it after this episode is done. There is a link to YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. When you go to the YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like and comment. We want to hear your guys' feedback. And also follow on either Spotify or Apple iTunes, whichever one you prefer to listen to podcasts. Keep supporting Black Lives Matter. Keep supporting the LGBT community. Keep being change agents for multiple movements. All right. Like I said in the beginning of this video, it is pretty tense in America. It's always tense in America. If you want to celebrate or not celebrate tomorrow, that is your choice. Nobody can tell you what to do. I just want to let you know that I understand why you don't want to celebrate, and I uphold you to it. So, with that being said, I'm Brianna Cherie, host of All in the Fam. I am signing off. You guys have an awesome weekend, and please be safe. Yeah. Love you guys. Talk to you later, fam.